Hello, Lori. You're the first one up. Your name seems new to me. I wonder if you have ever been to one of our talks or not. However, I'm glad that you're here. Today we have changed the timing of the live talk. Usually it's about 11:30 in the morning, Vancouver time. But I haven't had the chance to have this done for the past few weeks, and today I thought perhaps perhaps this would be a good occasion before Christmas. Did you and I converse online, Lori? Is that what you're meaning? In any case, welcome. If it's the first time for you to be here. We're usually having these live talks since a year and so a bit ago. This probably is maybe the 100th live talk we've had. Okay, good then. Then you know what we're doing here. So our discussions usually roam around thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, and things to do with relationships, breakups, and so on, and how we react and deal with it. And this is basically the basis for our discussions here. Hello, Jose. Merry Christmas to you too, dear. I guess it is the 20. Is it? What's the time difference? What's the time in Argentina right now, Jose? So while we're waiting for others to show up, if they do, because nobody knew that this is going to be happening at this hour. So it's 8 o'clock over there. Interesting. So it's about 5-hour difference. Good. So you can, guys, you can start if you have anything on your mind that you would like to discuss. We can start on that until others show up if they catch us, because usually we have this talks on 11:30 in the morning, but today I thought that's the best time that I could offer, and that's the only time. And maybe tomorrow would be not the right day, since everybody would be busy with their preparations, or maybe we'll have a live talk tomorrow as well. I'm not sure yet. It's a weekend. I'm not sure about anything. Perhaps we'll have a whole new different group today. Usually we have these talks on Saturday on my own Facebook channel, this channel, and Sundays we have it on the Amazing Things in the World Facebook page, which is they reach over 5 million people. But I think we'll keep it on this Facebook page today, and perhaps even tomorrow, make it a little bit more local, I guess. And we might have a whole different group today, as the timing is totally different than the usual timing we have. So if you have a question that you would like to throw at me, please go ahead. Jose Maria says, just wanted to thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Your videos help me in rough times. Now everything is back to normal and doing your, that's a delight to hear. I'm delighted to hear this, Jose. And I appreciate your feedback, and I'm very happy that you're on your way and you're enjoying life again, and you have come to see that life has a lot more to offer than just one relationship, which most of us think that's the end of the world when the relationship ends, not knowing what wonderful things is ahead, and perhaps that was the blessing and the gateway for us to have a chance to explore and see what other things life has to offer for us. So I'm very happy. And don't forget to keep sharing the videos that you like on your social media, if you will, because that helps the channel to get more popular and to have more exposure. As you know, many of you constantly tell me that the contents of the videos are magnificent, are amazing, are so helpful, this and that. But yet, you all know that for, I don't know, promotional reasons or tag reasons, I don't know, however it is, we're not that visible. The channel is not that visible on YouTube yet. And there are many channels that, as you guys tell me, they don't have any good contents. However, they have like 500, 400,000 viewers or 1 million viewers and so on and so forth. So for that, we need to be a little bit more active to get this channel known, and that can only happen if you guys share the videos that you like, or the videos that I post on Facebook page, this Facebook page, and hopefully people will get to know about it. And don't forget to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, www.mindthatseekstruth.com, and take advantage of the totally ridiculous prices of the ebooks that I have brought down. It's price of a coffee or tea now, because there's no financial agenda in that pricing. I wanted everybody to have a copy, while the printed books, paper versions, will remain at the same high price that it always been, and it's sold at Indigo and Amazon's. And Amazon only has the ebooks, but the Indigo has the paper books, and they keep their prices. However, the ebooks, I've reduced them ridiculously low to like $4, $5, or $6, different books. And I want you guys to have a copy, because I don't want the exchange rate between the currencies between your countries and US dollar to create a problem of not being able to afford it. India, Australia, UK, everywhere now, it's just, they're cheap pretty much. And that's what the intention was, so everybody could own a copy and read it at your leisure time and enjoy it. And get to know a little bit more about your own psyche, how it works, and therefore you can manage whatever challenges that you may be facing in a little better way. So, having said all that, we are looking for some questions for the next few while that we're going to be together, so we can have a discussion. Somebody tell me if the voice and the sound quality and the picture resolution is okay. It's because there's so much glare here. I'm not sure if you guys all can see me or hear me okay or not. So it would be wonderful, the ones who are actually with us, just to say hello and where they are tuning in. So, Lori, thank you very much for letting me know. So at least we would be able to know what is our demographics and how far we've gone, where we are, how far we're reaching. And also I would know how many people are with us right now. So again, we are waiting for questions having to do with your breakups, relationships, or things to do with thoughts, consciousness, desire, fears, and ego. And we usually have a wonderful conversations on Saturdays and Sundays and these live talks. Sometimes it takes a while for people to come up with questions. I often think that if you guys been waiting for this, then you must have some questions written down somewhere. Jade, hello dear. From Lebanon. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you're doing well, dear. That's the extent of my Arabic. So I'm still looking to hear who else is with us and where you are tuning in from. And of course, looking for a question. Otherwise, I'll be just having my tea or my water and have a chit chat. Well, Christmas is here, and in Vancouver we had lots of snow just a few days ago, but quickly they have cleared up. It's getting colder, so it can be icy a little bit. but it's sunny today. It's beautiful, and we thought we'll have a white Christmas this year, but looks like we'll have a whitish Christmas. It may still snow, who knows? But I'm particularly not so in favor of snow covering everywhere because it does have its own challenges, and I want everybody to be happy, healthy, and safe all the time, all throughout the year, including Christmas time and any other holiday occasion. Jade, thank you. Yeah, I do have a good accent when I want to speak some words from different languages that I know, but that is enough to put me in trouble because let's say if I'm in Germany or France or Japan or something, and if I know a few words, I pronounce it well, but then they think that I do speak the language, so they come back with with quite of a regular way of their speaking, and then I'm totally lost. Lori says Texas is 68 bathing. Oh my goodness, 68. Wow, that's wonderful. 68 is 68 Fahrenheit. That's not too bad. It's not bathing suit weather, Lori. It's warm. No? Because I think 68 is only about 18 degrees Celsius. I think. So, is there anyone else who likes to say hello and where they're from, so we could carry on? Oh, 68 is 40 centigrade? Are you sure? .68 Fahrenheit should be only 18 degrees Celsius, which is pretty comfortable in a way. Am I mistaken? Have I lost my ability to to what is it? The formula is C over 100. No, it's F minus 32 over 180 equals C over 100, and then we can calculate it. Well, anyhow, anybody who can, just tell me what Celsius. Ah, I see. So Jose is saying that it is Argentina that he's talking about. 40 Celsius in Argentina. Okay, so I'm probably right as far as where Lori is. 68 is probably 18, 17, or 19 Fahrenheit. I mean Celsius. And 40 degrees Celsius in Argentina. That's hot. That is hot. Well, if we don't have anything other than our wonderful positive chit-chats, I would like to see who else is online with us. I see lots of thumbs ups and hearts and so on sometimes passing by the screen, but I don't know how many people are actually here. So if you still would like to say hello and where you're tuning in from, I would appreciate it. And of course, I'd look forward for a question that we can discuss and start our discussion on that basis. Again, things to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, and or things to do with your breakups, emotional feelings, or what you're going through in life right now would be something that we could discuss. Don't forget to tune into my YouTube channel. There are over 600 some odd videos, short and long, maybe 400 of it is long lectures of 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, 30, or 40 minutes, depending on the topic. Things to do with, again, the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, and things to do with matters of emotional hardships or challenges that you might be going through. And don't forget to go on the channel and search in the playlist and find the topics that you're interested in, or search for a certain kind of a particular wordings or sentence that you're looking for, and you should be able to find pretty much any scenario that you might be going through as far as relationships, breakups, or again, thoughts, desires, ego, fears, and consciousness is concerned. Now, let's see. Jose Maria says, I never saw a video or read about your life. Like, where are you from, profession, etc. Okay, I can make one of those, of course. And I should actually do one of those. Sometimes friends have asked me on these live talks, and I've gone through the whole motion and described and so on. But maybe I should make a video. I don't think that would be of any importance to people to know where I come from or what I've done or not, but maybe it's something to share, and for sure I can do that. Jade says, what do you recommend someone who is making an immigration decision at the age of 31? Well, depends what your reasoning is. And if you're talking about the age part, your focal point on your question is 31 too old to immigrate somewhere, or is it okay or not? Then okay, we can talk about that. 31 is a very young age. Of course, I know it's relative. When I was, just for you to get my point, when I was, I guess, 12 years old, I had 4 uncles, and from my mother's side, and one of them was a 31-year-old. In my opinion, I thought at the time, I remember, that he's going to be dying soon because he's old. To me, like 20 was old, like an adult. But when I reached the age of 15 and 16, I realized 20 is not that old and 31 is not dinosaur. And when I got to be 20, I thought, oh, I'm really, I've got it. I'm there. I know everything. I'm so, wise and now adult and old and all that. And then I thought, okay, 40 is old. But as I got to be age 30, I thought, well, 30 is very young, and probably 50 is old. So the older you get, the younger you think that age is, and then the further it goes, the old age. For you, at age 31, you may think it's, pretty old, but it's very young age. Time to explore, times to learn, times to enjoy, times to plan and execute the plans and build your life. And you can do that anywhere in the world. It really doesn't, of course, opportunities change depending on where you are. If you're living in a society that is more civil or more the rule of law resides, which is, what whole humanity has capitalized or has been hoping for and has hoped for. And so if you can go from one country that the opportunities, or due to whatever is happening, that country is not really providing all the catalysts that, or catalysm that you expect in order to be able to bring your plans to fruition, then you might want to make that decision and take the leap and emigrate and build a new life somewhere else as wonderful as you can. And your age is a perfect age, and you don't want it to be 40 and then going. Go now. And if that's what you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just discussing it. 31 is a very young age. And I remember how it was when I was 31. It was just like yesterday, because I still mentally think I'm like 20, 25-year-old. But of course, physically things change and you realize that. However, you're in a perfect age, and you will be able to hopefully make a good life wherever you are, as long as you have your mind and body coordinated and focus on the goals that you want to achieve and strive for it and be relentless and just plan and execute as good as you can. So that would be fine. Lori says, I just turned 60. Life has just begun. Oh, thank you for saying that, because you know what? I'm a little bit ahead of you. I'm 62, and at this age, we try to keep as young as we can and be active as much as we can. And we do benefit from the experiences and the wisdom that we have gathered. And if we can use them well, we should have some good results and some many good years yet to come. Jade says, 100% thank you. Well needed support. Well, yeah, you know, it's not a problem. Everybody finds, as everybody grows and changes in life, as everything in the world, in the universe changes every moment, every second. All the molecules and atoms are all changing, developing. But we too, as part of this whole mechanism, as part of this whole growth, we also change through growing and changing, learning new experiences, new wisdom. And if the environment that we're living in doesn't change with us or the same speed, or we cannot be harmonious with it, or we can't see what we need to build what we want to build, those raw material is not available in the society or however, wherever we are, then it's time for you to find something that is more suitable and more friendly to your plans and more accommodating. And that's when you gotta go somewhere else. Everything changes and you're changing, and if the changes of your environment with you are not in the same speed, it's like a relationship pretty much. If you, as everybody grows and changes, if the two are not growing together or not understanding each other's consciousness and they're not bonding on that level, and one is going a different direction, sees life differently and absorbs and analyzes and sees life in different lights, then that would mean that they cannot bond on consciousness level, and regardless of how physically suitable they may have been for each other, if there are no good bonding on consciousness level, therefore it wouldn't work, and it would, you would just have to each go on your separate ways and find a better cultivating ground for what you want to grow. And the same thing in your life now. If that society and you are not really bringing the best in you or providing the kind of opportunities that you expect or support, then that's a time for you to turn your ship and direct it to another shore. Now, so is that the three of us here, or do we have other people with us? If we do, again, I would love to hear from you guys and just say hello and tell me where you guys are. And if not, well, that's okay too. We will go as far as we don't get tired, and then in a few minutes we just say, have a nice day, and we go about the rest of the day. I was in Texas in 2007. I think it was September 2007. I was invited for a wedding, and it was pretty hot. I think I was in Houston, and as soon as I came out of the hotel to get a taxi to go to where the reception was, oh, it was hot. It was pretty much unbearable. I wasn't used to it. Well, it's been years I live in Canada, so I'm used to ice and cold much more than I am in the heat. Roberta, hello dear. Roberta says, Mehran, I have a question. Hi there. Okay. All right, I guess it's a puzzle for me. I should make the sentence. So, Mehran, hi there, I have a question. Let me see, of course. Let me see the question. Recently, my ex-girl that I loved so much before came back, that I loved so much before, came back into my life. She did manage to leave me a few times before, but now it seems she's giving me lost you. Wow. Lost you. That's a big question. That's why I lost you. Okay, you managed to leave me a few times before, but now it seems she's giving me all the attention. And she's doing all the texting and writing first. But now she's on holidays for 3 weeks. So I would be forced to communicate on internet only. But at the same time, a few other girls started texting me. And I can't really feel good if I text them all. I only want to text the one I used to love. But is giving a second chance a good idea to a person who left you, even though they said they understood the mistake they made and they would not make it again? That she wants to be with me. Should I remind her of the bad things that she has done and ask her why? Or should I just start fresh with her and ignore other girls? A very good question. A long one, but a question. So I'm going to put the meter on. I'm going to charge you for this, because not for the answer, for reading it. Robertas. Remind me, where are you located, Robertas? Before I answer you. Or while I'm answering you. Well, look. Let's say you get together with a girl and you love her and she loves you and all that. It's the first time. No history behind it. What guarantee do you have that she'll never leave? She hasn't left you. You haven't left her. But what guarantee each one of you have that you will not leave each other? None, right? So the fact that she has done it once and she may do it again or she may not do it again is unknown. You cannot just say, because she's telling me that she will not do it again, she will never do it. Or because she broke up with me before and left me, she will do it again. None of that is true or is something to base your judgment on. Because people change. If I have been a difficult person or a bad person or a person with a different behavior or understanding or level of growth or advancement or wisdom or whatever, well, if I have now learned something as I'm growing and I have developed into something else, you can't constantly tell me, no, you were that one that who did these things. It's like telling a butterfly that, no, you are the worm. You are not a butterfly because you used to be a worm. I mean, is that fair? Well, everything in this universe changes. The whole thing is about changing. We are born, we are sperm, then we are a fetus, then we are born as an infant, then we are a baby, then we're a teenager. Are we supposed to say, now you're 31-year-old, let's say, or whatever age you are? I just used the age, I don't know. And say, no, you're the same 15-year-old that you used to be. You've changed. So things change, people change, mentalities change through experiences and through growth and so on. And this young woman, you too, somehow her expectations was different and your expectations were different. Your consciousnesses were formed, of course, differently. Everyone's consciousness is differently. And at that moment, at that time, you were not compatible, or somehow at the outset, physically, you were suitable and you were, fun and so on. And then later on, because there was no bonding on consciousness level, everything became boring or non-movement, static. And then one of you or both of you, or she thought that if she goes somewhere else, it'll be more of an excitement for her, or she will feel better about herself, or she will feel more valuable because she get more attention from this one and that one, because she wasn't sure about herself, who she is, how she can be affirmed, what she needs to feel good about herself. All that things made her do what she did, which we all do according to all these analyses that internally takes place, or the needs that we feel, and then we do something. How stupid it may be, seem to be later on, but at that moment it doesn't seem to be so stupid, because that's what they believe. At the time one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. That's why it does it. Otherwise, if one thinks that decision is not correct, it wouldn't do it. So at the time, that's what her level of understanding or growth or consciousness or wisdom was, and for that level, what she did was necessary for her. Now, as this growth has happened, now she grew again, and she went there and she went in that field and saw that it's all nonsense, bullshit, or whatever. She's gained new experience, and she came back to you. Now, are you telling me the experience that she has gained that showed her the way that it is better to come back to you, because now she has that wisdom to see what you were offering and what she went for was not more valuable than what it was with you? Are you saying that is not a valuable wisdom, a valuable experience for her? And you prefer someone who has not left you yet, and you think because that new someone who hasn't left you will also stay with you? She can also come in and after a while say, oh, I might have something else. Because unfortunately, human being, some human beings, as soon as they get something, then they think it's no longer valuable. So they strive for it, and they don't have it, they go for it, and they get it, and then they say, oh, I got it. So if a person like me can get it, and I'm really not that hot about myself, I'm really not sure how good I am or how wise I am, and the fact that this person is now, I got him, or I got her, and she's with me, and I don't think I'm that great, so she might not be that great. So in other words, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. It's like saying, I don't want to belong to a club that takes me as a member, because you don't believe in yourself. So thinking that because she left you once, then you shouldn't, and you should chat up other girls, then you're also causing something that could be very good not work, because it takes two to tango. If she has come back and she's doing all the right things and she's good with you, what else can some other girl do for you other than stuff that she's doing? She's wonderful, she's texting you, she's loving you, she's caring about you. She knows that she made a mistake. She says it, and that's why she's back. She's compared it. These are positive things. The others haven't done that. The others haven't gotten you. And when they do, who knows? I'm about to sneeze, so if I do, don't be scared. I sneeze big. So for you to assume just because this person was like this cannot be better than she used to be is wrong. Again, like saying the butterfly cannot be as beautiful and as wonderful as it is because it used to be something else. Well, we all change. We all grow. And so that's why you should not base your judgment on her. And base it on the fact that if you guys have enough compatibility, bonding on consciousness level, can understand all these things that I've been talking about all these past years. I hope that you've gotten that Me, My Psyche and I, the book, the ebook. I don't know, it's only $5 or something. Go get that book. Both of you, read it whenever you feel like it. Ponder and understand how this works. Why is it that you don't think this girl or that girl will or will not do to be a good partner for you? Why is it there are differences and conflicts and divisions between you guys? Why does it happen like that? If you understand how your psyche is put together, what is thought? What is consciousness? How consciousness is put together? What is fear? How desire is born? What is ego? What do they have to do with the way you guys interact with each other? What are you interacting with each other? Are you actually knowing each other, or you're interacting with each other's image? What kind of image did she have when she was with you before? What kind of image she was hoping for, and that's why she left you? What kind of image did she gain when she left you and experienced out there? And what kind of image she's coming back with? And what kind of image you have in interaction with her? All of this is what makes these things come to seem like you have to leave this one to go to the other one to feel good. I don't know if this one or that one, because you're choosing everybody based on their physical appearances. And lo and behold, those physical appearances, I don't care how hot you guys may be to each other, won't do a darn thing if you don't connect on the consciousness level and you don't understand how you're put together. Why is it that you do what you do, act and react the way you do in your relationships with each other and so on? So, short of the long is, stick with what someone is offering you and you're happy with her, you loved her, you still do, and she's doing all the right things. So why are you jumping from here and there? Isn't that exactly what you guys always complain, that the girls jumping like a sparrow from this branch to the other branch, because they have no understanding of that it is not just what they can receive that brings the quality of the relationship, it's also what they can offer. And if they don't offer full-heartedly, then they can't receive full-heartedly. Isn't that what you guys always complain, that the sparrow is jumping from one tree to another? So don't become like that. Go through the full motion of this. If it didn't work eventually, for some other reason or whatever reason, then you will see what else is available and you choose another and you try to bond with that person. Otherwise, going here and there at the same time, texting this, texting that, it never ends well. In other words, meaning, even if everybody understands, eventually you would have to make a decision, because it's just not practical, physically or emotionally or logistically, time-wise and schedule-wise and as part of the plan, to have so many different girlfriends, or so many different relationships, men or women. Eventually, if you observe and commit yourself to something, choose. Once you choose, then stick with it until as far as it goes. When it stopped going, then granted, go and find others, but row it together as long as it is a pleasant journey. And as long as you don't put your efforts in it, the journey won't be as pleasant. And you always think that one is better, and that one is better, and that one is better. So you're not focusing on anything. And if you don't focus it, how do you expect to build anything? You got to be focused. So stay focused. That's the short and long. I know I went on and on, but hey, you asked the question. Hope that's something for you to ponder, and hope that is something for you to use. Now we got more of a hellos and love coming here, and I like to see more people joining us. Let's see what is the next question that we have here. So, Robertus, we answered. John Jauban, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Hello, dear, from Philippines. Hello, John, good to see you. Valerie, hello, dear. Where are you? It says Valerie is watching. Join in, dear. Lori, lol, I forgot what the lol is all about, because I talked so long. Jack, hello again, it's Jack. I'm from UK. Hello, Jack. Good to see you, dear. Now, Jack is saying, for the past few weeks, I've had this certain feeling like that nothing really matters. Yeah? Good. Like your body is just a camera, and that camera is being observed by some higher energy or being. Oops. By a higher energy or being. It's both a terrifying and amazing feeling. Well, let me read that again. For the past few weeks, I've had this certain feeling like that nothing really matters. Okay. We all have had that feeling. It's a good feeling. Nothing matters. Everything is cool. I can handle anything. It doesn't emotionally bother you. I think that's what you mean. Like our body is just a camera. Camera. And that camera is being observed. Camera is being observed. Okay? By some higher energy or being. It's both terrifying. Well, you know, I'm not sure really exactly what your experience you're having. However, let's talk a little bit about the watcher and the watched. You know that I have a video on my channel, YouTube channel, called The Quality of Your Life, Watcher and the Watched, Controller and the Controlled, Observer and the Observed. And on that video, I've discussed that how consciousness is put together and what thoughts are. After having discussed what thoughts are, that through an action, an experience comes from that action. From that experience, knowledge is created, and that knowledge is stored in your memory, which over time and other actions and experience and knowledge stored in the memory creates your consciousness. And from all these memories, then the new action. So an action, experience, knowledge is stored in the memory, and then from this memory, which is now accumulated, a bunch of other knowledge have been stored in the memory. From all these knowledge that is stored in the memory, new thought is born. And from that new thought, new action, experience, knowledge, and the knowledge again is stored in the memory. And that's how the consciousness grows. And based on what you have in this field of the known, the consciousness, field of the known, the things that you do know, new thought, all thoughts are born. And from that thought, new action and experience and knowledge and so on and so forth. It continues. So, in other words, you can say, every thought that comes about, it is based on what knowledge I have accumulated in my consciousness, in my memory. So, thought, you say, is based on what's in the memory from consciousness. So, in other words, consciousness is controlling the thoughts. So, because the thoughts are coming from the content of the consciousness, which means consciousness is watching what the thought does. So, thought is the observed, thought is the controlled, and thought is the watched, and consciousness is the watcher, is the controller of the thought, is the observer of the thought. If that's the case, you're having your consciousness watching your thoughts, which is, some call it the monkey mind, the one that is busy trying to control. However, isn't the thought that creates an action, and the action brings an experience, and the experience brings a knowledge, and the knowledge is stored in the memory, which creates the consciousness. And now, from the content of the consciousness, a thought is born. And we think thought is based on the consciousness. The consciousness is the watcher, is the controller, and the thought is controlled. However, the consciousness itself is made out of thought. So the controller is the controlled. The watcher is actually made out of the watched. So the watched the observed is what has created the observer. So you can now simply understand that what you think it's watching you is actually your thoughts, which is the master. You're the master, but the thought is there. And it is not that thought is being controlled by the consciousness, because thought itself has made what consciousness is today. So there's only one thing, and that's thought, because consciousness is now redundant. I hope that is something for you to think about and understand, that what you think that maybe is watching you is your own storage of previous thoughts, and where thought is taking roots, which from what takes roots, the field that takes roots, is actually have been made and created by the thought itself. So the field that the thought is growing is actually made by the thought itself, not that the thought is growing in the field and the thought are separate. The field is made out of its plants. It's the plants, accumulation of it, that has created the field, not that the field is different and then the plant is different. I hope that makes sense to you somehow, and I hope I haven't confused you as I'm confused myself now. All right, let's go to the next. If I would have seen your comment, I wouldn't have gone through all that. He says, I've seen that video, it's great. Okay, good. Oops, lost you again. So Ligia Garcia says, hi, it's Ligia from Venezuela. Hello, dear. Thanks for helping me, she says, so much. My pleasure, Ligia. I'm glad that it's been helpful to you. And as I mentioned before, please, guys, don't forget to share the videos that you like on your social media, so the YouTube channel gets more exposure, and more people will get to know about it, and to know about my work, and to know that support exists, and to be able to make themselves be a better version of themselves. And don't forget to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and do acquire one of these books, especially the Me, My Psyche, and I, on the ebook version, which is very cheap now. I think it's like $5.99 or something. It used to be, it's still sold on Amazon at in the $30s and the $40 range, but I've purposely reduced it to dirt cheap, price of a coffee or tea, so everybody can own one regardless of what currency they have and differences between US dollar and their currency. So it become very affordable, because there is really no economic agenda here with these prices. I just want you all to have a copy of it. There's a transient thoughts in me. These are the thoughts that appear in the head that are not invited, and you want to know what they are, what they have to do with you, how to deal with them, and so on. There's Me, My Psyche, and I, and of course there's the Breakup Pain Handbook that is also available. But I really would like you guys to have these two books for sure, at least Me, My Psyche, and I, or Me, My Psyche, and I, and the book Transient Thoughts in Me in ebook version. The paper version sold at Indigo bookstores in Canada is still, and my own site, still the same old price, because that's the only way we can make any kind of economic goals out of it. Otherwise, the other one is a gift that I want you guys to have. And please do take advantage of it, especially during these holiday season, and maybe give it a gift or something. It helps you to know how the psyche puts together, and know a little bit about the machine that you are, rather than just trying to push different buttons randomly and hope that you get the right results. Okay, now let's see if we have Jack says, who watches the watchers? The watched. It's all about the watch, the thought. It's all about the thought. Initially we had to have some field to create the watcher, the consciousness, but it's all, the building blocks are all That's the one that it really matters. Now, Jake says the human mind is an amazing, complex thing. Yeah, and it's also very powerful and also very misleading. So remember, don't allow thoughts to replace reality. Often, you think your thoughts are the reality and actuality because it appears in your head, and your head is attached to your body, it's yours, and you think what appears in my head, and I know my head is me, is in me, and it has credibility, so if it appears something in it, then it must be credible. Not necessarily. Your head and your consciousness, which we're talking about, is basically like that virtual reality goggle that you guys put on and play games or watch a video and movie, and because there is nothing else beyond the frame of that goggle, nothing else is visible beyond that frame. All you can see is that movie that you're watching. Nothing else from the corner of your eyes can be visible. Then you're totally focused and you think that's the whole world, that's the whole scene. There's nothing else living there, nothing else available. Therefore, the whole thing is what you see. Therefore, you're totally into it, believe in it, and you get these extraordinary feelings and emotions from watching it in that manner. Now, the consciousness is like that virtual reality goggle. Everyone's consciousness is like they have that virtual reality goggle, because beyond that consciousness and the content of their consciousness, they think there's nothing else available. That's the scope and that's the extent of the field that they can understand, the content of the consciousness. Therefore, what appears into their head, what's in their thoughts, they believe it. They think there's nothing else possibly there, because that's all the limitations of that goggle, that field of vision is for them. So they believe their thoughts. But if they just take the goggle off, or in the consciousness way, just understand and focus and notice that your consciousness is just your consciousness, is a fragment of the total consciousness, collective consciousness of the world. That doesn't mean what you know in your consciousness is the whole thing that is available. If you focus on that, then you understand that there's a lot more than your consciousness knows and have come to know. Therefore, you don't have to always believe the thoughts that appear in your head, because that's not all that there could be. On that note, so let's move on to the next one. Jack says, how come when you think everything is going well and good, something bad always happens? Balance of the universe. It's not that something bad always happens, because we are so afraid of losing that good thing that we constantly think negatively, and eventually we may notice all those negatives and think, okay. Or it's just coincidence. Or when you think negatively, sometimes you may actually create that propensity towards negative things. Happens to be, there's no real logic to it. Okay. So short or long is don't think negatively, because whatever is supposed to happen, it happens anyhow. So at least be positive in the meantime, and focus on good plans and positive activities and positive thoughts, and make your life a little bit more balanced. And when things happen the way that it shouldn't have happened, well, find a way and just turn it around, and again make it something good. Hopefully most things we can do that, and if we can't, we should. Now we have Bakhtash Azizi says, hi, I really like a girl who also likes me the same way. I really liked the girl who also liked me the same way, but after a few dates, she started to pull out, but we are working at the same place. So I respected her decision, but after a month, I asked her if we can try another go, but she said she has no feelings towards me anymore. But after a few weeks, she asked me for a coffee, and we ended up talking all day, and I wasn't sure why she did that. After another week, She asked me again out, but it seemed she just wants to be friends, which I don't want that, but made me so confused. Well, don't be confused, because this is most what girls are all about. They like the attention, and they think that this is what they want, but they're not sure, because they always value themselves so highly, and they're wondering what else is out there that could be offered to them. So while they're going out with you, they're keeping their options open if there's another better possibility out there. So what you need to do is, which is pretty much what the guys do too, I guess. So what you need to do is that when she's expressing her interest to you, to have coffee with you or talk with you, don't go out of your way, or don't go nuts that, oh, she's in love with me. She's not. And don't offer everything you got to her just because she allowed you to have coffee with her. Just be yourself. As long as you're not sure that she's committed to this relationship, you should not show your total commitments to this relationship. Because how could you? You shouldn't be committed to a relationship that is not already committed to you. So just go have coffee, talk, be friendly, but don't just go all out and fall all over yourself just because she's there. And this is the curse that we most boys have. It is not your fault. It is not your interest in a woman is not an indication of how great she is, because she hasn't done anything to show you that she's so great. She hasn't proven to you that she is so wonderful and amazing as you think she is. It is you who think she is, because you have this program for procreation. You love woman, and you are interested in that relationship for procreation. This is your programming. This is in your genes. Therefore, because of your desire for her, because of the programmings that you have, your interest in that procreation, in that relationship, which you hope to lead to procreation or, intimacy, you think, therefore, this that represents pleasure, this desire that leads and represents ultimately pleasure, is enough reason for you to think that she is so great in everything that she has, and she thinks, and she does, and she's capable of. But that has nothing to do with her. She hasn't done anything to deserve that kind of a judgment on her, that she's so amazingly wonderful. So wait and be yourself, be friend, be courteous, be friendly, discuss things and get to know each other. And according to how the flow of the relationship is, then you unfold your offerings and your more attention and so on. Otherwise, if you put the food out before the guests come, what good is it? You have a party, you put all the food out, and the guests haven't arrived yet. So there's really no value for that food. But when the guests arrive and they're hungry, and then they have desire to eat, then you bring the food out, they appreciate it. And then it could be a balanced relationship based on hunger and food. Not just food, no hunger. So create that balance and you will be fine. You don't have to go all out. And just because it's a girl, you don't have to react. Oh, there's a girl. She's pretty. I like it. So I have to now react. I have to have her. No. There's so many wonderful women out there. Just interact and see how it goes. If the level of interest from her to you is the same as your level of interest to her, which is not really level of interest, it's just your excitement because of your interest in that gender. So, I hope that is something for you to think about. Mustafa says, I like you so much. I saw your videos. Okay, good. I'm glad, Mustafa, that you enjoy the videos. Please do share the videos you like on your social media and let people know about the channel so we can grow better. Jack says, what is the purpose of the human race? Personally, I believe we were to explore the universe. Personally, I believe we are here to explore the universe. I think that's what you want to say. I just want to hear your personal opinion. Well, that's a long chapter. I'm going to try to make it short. Well, It may be a little bit too heavy, but here it is. The purpose of human race. Well, you know, we are all connected. The life as we know it is in two parts, not in one part. It's not just physical. It's made out of key energy of the universe and physical. So our life is in two parts, mind and the body. Energy that we receive from the universe. Universal energy travels from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe in all directions. Right, left, up, down, front and back and everywhere, from all directions. Universal energy is always from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe in all directions, is extending. And it also passes through us. And our physical body is the apparatus, is what helps the mind to experience things, to move mind. Our legs helps the mind to go places. Our taste buds helps the mind to taste things. So if you ask someone, they will tell you legs walk and tongue talks. But really, mind walks through manipulation of the legs and mind tastes through the tongue. So if you understand that we are not just physical being, we are made out of two parts, mind and the body, the energy and the apparatus, the mechanical part. And if we know that the energy of the universe is constantly passing through everything in this universe, including us and everyone else and everything else, trees and everything else that exists, therefore you understand that we are part of a greater thing. We're part of a universe, part of the energy of the universe, part of the key, part of the universal energy. If we are part of the universal energy, I lost it. If we are part of the universal energy, then we are having an effect on this universal energy, how we live, what we experience. And when we have all these experiences through our life, through, growing up and going through all these steps and stages of life, and we gather all these wisdom and experiences and so on and so forth, our consciousness and our thoughts and everything else, then when we get to a point that this body cannot absorb and accept and store this energy that's constantly flowing through us all through our life. Because there is an energy that gives us life. It's not just the physical body. Look, when you sleep at night and get up in the morning, you are totally fresh. You feel healthy, you feel fresh, vigorous, energetic. And you use that energy during the day to do your things, to work, sports, or study, whatever it is. Even if you don't do a thing and sit on the couch, watch TV all day long, at the end of the day, you have exhausted your energy, even though you didn't do any physical movement. Why? Because there is a certain energy that you need to facilitate your livelihood, to your life, to be alive. And that energy is what I'm talking about. The key, the universal energy that passes through you. When you sleep, your body, your mind enters into a certain kind of a frequency that it can accept and absorb and charge with this energy of the universe that is flowing. And when you get up, you're filled up. All through the day, you replenish, you deplete it, and then again you sleep, and automatically you're filled up. So this energy is necessary. At the same time, this energy tells you that you're connected with this energy. You're exchanging this, and you need this exchange to stay healthy. Because it's like if you don't have this exchange, you will have a cooped up energy. Like if you do cooking in the kitchen and you don't let the smoke and the bad smell or the smell of the cooking, if you don't open the window, let this smoke go out and fresh air to come in, it will be very difficult to breathe or to survive in there, right? It's not fresh. So the same thing, we got to be able to have this conflux of energy between us and the energy of the universe continue in order to stay healthy. We seem to think that we are separate from the universe, but we are really connected. It's like if you go in front of the ocean and bend down and scoop a bit of the ocean water out, and you look at it and you say, my water. Well, in your eyes, this water in your hand is your water. But in the eyes of the great ocean, this water is part of the great ocean water. Same thing with you. You say, my life. In your eyes, it's your life. That energy that flows through you and keeps you alive, you say, my life. In your eyes is your life. But in the eyes of the great universe is part of the universal energy, part of the universal life that is now in your body. So this, what you call my life, my energy, is part of the universal energy, just like that water in your hand is part of the great ocean. Now, if you keep it out for a long time, it gets bad, spoils, stinks. It's not as fresh anymore. Things don't live in it. So if you need to keep it fresh, you got to put it back in the ocean water so it can have conflux, interchange with the ocean water to stay fresh and strong and things grow and live in it. Same thing with us. We can't just constantly use this energy and don't have a conflux, an interchange with the energy of the universal. Otherwise, we end up having a cooped up energy and nothing, we won't be as healthy. That's why we are active, we do exercise, and when we sleep, we get new, fresh energy coming in. And that's why it's so important to learn how to increase this conflux by learning how to do meditation, which means while you're not even sleeping, you can have conflux with this energy of the universe. So having said that, coming back to what we were talking about, when you have gained all these experiences and eventually your body gets old, you become 100, 120, 140, 150 or more, or whenever it's time that your body cannot absorb, cannot take and keep and store this energy anymore, that's when you die. But what happens with all this stuff that you learned? That's where the human role comes into the picture. You have come to the world to experience all these things that you experience in life, all the wisdom and things that you learn, because when you die, all these experiences, like the energy that you've been receiving all through your physical life, it doesn't go, this doesn't disappear. You just can't absorb any more energy, but the energy exists. And all the energy that you had, every day you got up and you had energy and you used it for things, it goes back to the universe. It doesn't disappear. Energy doesn't disappear. It just changes to a different thing. So when you die, you cannot absorb this energy, this key, universal energy anymore. And everything that you learned with it, as it goes to collective consciousness of the world, which is intended to make the universe wiser and more understanding, and to learn from our entities, our experiences, all of us in this universe, to experience all these things and then exchange it back to the universal, especially when we no longer can keep our physical form and think that everything we did died with us. No, just like the energy that doesn't die with us just because we can't absorb it anymore, but the energy exists still. The stuff that we learned, the stuff that we experienced, also goes and becomes part of and adds to the universal consciousness, collective consciousness. And that is the role of human being in parts, in my opinion, that helps the universe as a whole become wiser and develop further, and to be able to become a better universe, to help everything else that grows and is born in it to be taken better care of, and to create a better brain or better ability for all these entities that live in the universe to be more of a developing unit, not the way that we are today, which we all kill each other and